I've always loved unusual trips. Exploring abandoned houses and forgotten places has always given me a thrill. That mix of curiosity, fear, and wonder is addictive. So when I found a listing on Airbnb for an abandoned mansion in New Hampshire, I couldn't resist. The house had been standing there for over 100 years, and from the photos, it looked like it had jumped straight out of a horror novel. Peeling shutters, a garden completely overgrown, and mist that seemed to cling to the property no matter the time of day. The price was shockingly low, and the host, an elderly man, greeted me with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. He handed me the keys and said only this: "The house is old. Sometimes, strange things happen here. Nothing dangerous. Just be careful at night." When I arrived, I was immediately struck by the silence. Absolute, crushing silence. No birds, no wind in the trees, only the creak of the old wooden floorboards beneath my feet. Inside, the house felt frozen in time. Dust covered every surface. Old couches were draped in tattered sheets, and the corners were filled with cobwebs. Portraits hung on the walls, their eyes seeming to follow me no matter where I stood. I pulled out my camera, eager to capture every detail. I filmed the grand hallway, the staircase with its ornate banisters, the long dining room with faded wallpaper. At first, it was exciting, even fun. I joked to myself, saying the shadows looked like ghosts welcoming me, but as evening approached, the fun faded, replaced by a deep, creeping unease. The creaks of the floorboards became louder, and somewhere down the hall, I thought I heard a faint whisper, almost like someone standing just behind me, trying to speak. In the attic, I found an old diary, the pages yellowed and brittle with age, smelling faintly of dampness. It told the story of a family that had lived there long ago. Their lives ended in tragedy. One day, they simply vanished, leaving the house empty for decades. As I read, I felt a presence grow stronger in the room, like the house itself was aware of me. Doors began to move slightly on their own. The antique mirror in the hallway developed strange stains that weren't there in the morning. Shadows moved in ways that didn't make sense. I filmed everything, trying to capture proof, even though I wasn't sure what I was really expecting to find. By the end of the night, I posted a short video on Reddit asking, "Has anyone seen something like this? Could this be haunted?" The responses were immediate and terrifyingly varied. Some joked, "Maybe it's just mice or the wind." Others were dead serious, "Leave now before it's too late," or "That house is cursed." I laughed at first, thinking it was just typical Reddit paranoia, but as night deepened, the fear became impossible to ignore. At around AM, I heard a loud thump from the attic. My heart raced. With camera in hand, I climbed the creaking stairs. There, in the corner, I found a large, ancient trunk. Hands trembling, I opened it. Inside was a doll, antique, cracked, and staring with hollow eyes. The moment I touched it, the house seemed to awaken. Doors slammed, the floor shook beneath me, and shadows moved along the walls as if alive. I felt eyes on me from every corner. Shapes darted in and out of the hallway. I panicked, running outside, trying to call the host, but there was no answer. The next day, sunlight made the house seem almost normal, though an uneasy tension lingered. I explored more, taking photos, but I noticed things that didn't make sense. A door I was certain I had closed was slightly ajar. Strange chalk marks appeared on walls. Dust patterns seemed disturbed, as if something had walked through them overnight. I posted again to Reddit, hoping for answers. Some users claimed to know the history of the house, that the spirit of the previous owner remained inside and did not tolerate intruders. Others claimed the doll moves at night. As night returned, the house became even more menacing. Footsteps echoed through empty rooms. Whispers grew louder. Sometimes it felt like someone was watching me through the mirrors. My camera captured shadows that didn't match any object in the room. I tried to leave, but it felt like something was stopping me. My car keys wouldn't fit in the ignition, and scratches appeared on doors I hadn't touched. I decided to spend one last night documenting everything. I set up cameras in multiple rooms, trying to catch the phenomena. The house seemed to react to my presence. Curtains swayed though no windows were open. Objects moved slightly, and the doll seemed to appear in different rooms than before. I watched the footage in horror. There were faint figures in the background, watching, shifting, disappearing when I turned toward them. In my final act of desperation, I recorded a video warning everyone, if you ever find a house like this, don't go inside. Don't tempt fate. As I packed to leave, I looked back at the house. In a second floor window, a silhouette stood perfectly still, watching me leave. My heart pounded, and I drove away as fast as I could, never glancing back. Even now, thinking about that house makes my heart tighten. Sometimes I feel the doll and the shadows are still watching me, like the house left a piece of itself behind. That abandoned mansion wasn't just a building. It was a place where time had stopped, and the past refused to release strangers. Weeks later, I received a message on Reddit from someone claiming to have visited the house after me. They said they saw the same doll, in the same spot, and that the shadows seemed to follow anyone who entered. The thought alone makes me shiver. I've never returned. I've never wanted to. But sometimes, late at night, I can still feel the cold eyes of that house staring at me, reminding me that curiosity can be dangerous and that some doors, once opened, are better left closed forever.